there, clean freaks. We are back in studio with the Packaging Princess, our 2024 Sterile Processing Packaging Expert, Malinda Elammari. And we're going to be talking about Too Hot to Handle today, Malinda, the cool down process for all the packaging methods that we've been talking about so far. So welcome back into the studio with us.
Thanks. Super excited. Another episode. I do feel like I need to be wearing my crown, so maybe next episode.
Oh, okay. We're going to break it out. You know, we went halfway through the season, but you just couldn't keep it away.
It's so hard.
It's only right for a princess to have her crown. So I think that's good.
Exactly. Representing the crown.
You've made us wait here. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about how the cool down process works and what the principles are around this. And obviously this applies to all packaging methods, not just wrap that we talked about last episode, but kind of lay it out. What's happening in this cool down? Why is it important?
Yeah. So first I want to say, can't touch this. Okay. Anyway, so we're not going to make you guys listen to my rapping. So talking about cool down, crucial concept when we're talking about sterile packaging and making sure that it remains sterile. So when we look at our sterile packaging, let's just take wrap, for instance, right? So we've been talking about wraps, but how does a wrap work? When we look at a wrap, there's a whole bunch of little honeycomb kind of shapes on it and stuff. Those are basically pores. And so what it does is those pores kind of act similar to your face, right? Like when you want to clean your face, you use nice hot, warm water, wash your face. And then when you're done, you splash with cold water, right? It's supposed to close your pores, make you look young and beautiful, right?
So that's what I've been doing wrong. I've been missing the cold water.
Yeah, just splash with cold water. It's so funny. Most men are like, you do? Yes.
Yeah.
So basically the wraps work the same concept, right? If once it goes into the sterilizer, it reaches a certain temperature, those pores open up. That allows the steam or sterilant to enter inside. Then it circulates through your packaging and then comes back out. Once it cools down, once it gets to a certain temperature, those pores close and seal. Once they close and seal, that creates your sterile barrier. And that's how microorganisms don't come back inside. So once again, really important that you don't use a wrap that you've already sterilized, right? So now you're just messing up. This is why it's important that we rewrap stuff when our processes don't happen correctly. So if, for instance, I take a load out and it's still warm, and we all do this, is it cool yet? That touch concept, right? Oh, is it cool yet? Is it cool yet? You know, the OR's calling for the trays and stuff. And so we're trying to find out, can we release the tray? Touching it, we all have microorganisms on our hands, right? No matter how many times we lick them a day, we just touch our hands that have microorganisms. You can't clean them enough to get them off. And so touching the tray, you are now transferring those microorganisms to that tray. And so if those pores are still open and it's not cool, you're now transferring all of that to that tray. And so you're now introducing microorganisms back to a sterile tray that can now enter inside that tray and contaminate it. So extremely important that we utilize a temperature gun to ensure that, you know, say, hey, we set a temperature, and this is a crucial point. Make sure all the staff are on the same page of what that temperature should be before you release it. And I always tell people, just make a little sign, hang it up on the wall so that if there's any confusion or, you know, they can't remember, they can always just visually look at it. So let's just say you say 75 or below, meaning I can't release these trays until it's 75 degrees or below. And so having a temperature gun helps you scan that tray and see, okay, where are we at temperature-wise? And in AMY 10.3.1 talks about utilizing a temperature gun and the importance of using that tool. So I always also tell staff or facilities, have a backup one. Don't just have one, buy two, so that you have a backup. So when one breaks, and then you replace the broken one, right? So you're never down. In addition, what the temperature gun also helps with is turnovers, right? When you have OR calling and saying, "Hey, I need that tray. When can I have it?" It's still cooling. It's still cooling. Me as a technician, and I'm trying to get my table ready, it's still cooling doesn't mean anything to me. But if I call and you tell me, "Hey, the tray's at 120 degrees. I need it to get to 75." You're looking at another half an hour at least before we get there. That's a world of difference when you're giving me a number that I can go by, right? Versus it's still cooling. So I think it helps with communication as well and helps stop the microbial transfer. That being said, with the wraps and your filters and peel pouches work in the same way. So a lot of people don't think about this, right? Your pouches will close faster than your wrap, obviously, right? They cool down a lot quicker. But touching your pouch as well, you're cross-contaminating. And then I always get the concept, what about rigid trays? What about rigid containers? It's a hard surface. Why can't I touch that? Well, we know microorganisms, most of them love warm, dark places. And so they can travel with their little flagellas, their little tails, and they can travel through moisture. And when a tray is hot, it has moisture on it on the outside, right? And so these little microorganisms, they just travel up and they're going to go for a warm, dark spot. And that's through your filters. So your filters are still open. They're going to travel up into those filters. And, the concept, because we can't see it happening, we think, oh, this isn't happening. But it happens. So we've got to understand how these things work so we know what are we supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. In addition to transferring to a cooling rack. That's another thing we see. Can't touch the tray. If you have to touch that tray, you have no other option. You have to put on sterile gloves. That means you have to know how to do a open glove technique to put down sterile gloves. And most people don't know how to do that in the sterile processing department.
Is there a proper process if you do have to transport a tray prior to the cool down time and temperature? And I guess what you've been arguing for it is, the cool down time could be helpful if it's kind of an average you've been able to see over long periods of time in testing to get us within range. But then to your other point, the temperature gun is actually going to tell us on a tray by tray basis. And you didn't get into that specifically, but there's nuances on the tray itself for how quickly things are cooling down. And it could be the exact same tray in a different place with other instruments on a rack that's cooling down at a different speed, depending on the day or the location in the department or other instruments that are on the rack that weren't there last time when it was
Your
cooling
load
down. And so just
configuration. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right.
All of that plays a part.
I do want to call out, though, and just clarify this conversation around the temperature gun, because you kind of threw out there, 75 degrees as an example. But today, there's not a specific temperature that's in any guidelines necessarily. Are there any that you've seen that are in IFUs?
No. So the guidelines say room temperature. So most of them say room temperature. And so what we tell people is just, scan your room, find out what your average room temperature is, right? So within range. So most of the time it's 75 to maybe the hottest is 80. So usually a range of 70 to 80. I don't like for people to put a range down. We don't want to make, it has to be, because if it's below 70, does that mean I can't release it? There's confusion. So just create your max release temperature. And so if the hospital and your department decide that 80 degrees is your release temperature, then you go with it. Just once again, make sure everybody's on the same page.
This is a helpful conversation, but it's a complex one, especially when the guidelines don't specifically spell it out, because then you got, we're going to make a policy on this, but why did we choose 75 versus 80 degrees, for instance? And so there is a lot of critical thinking, a lot of nuance that goes into that. which is why I'm going to encourage anyone who's tuning into this episode and has a question about temperature release and cool down to reach out to our packaging princess, Malinda, here with questions or concerns or, confusions or what have you, because this is not an easy thing to figure out. And a lot of folks just kind of stumble into a process, but you may not have actually thought it through all the way and all the implications, even that emergency release conversation we talked about for doing so sterilely. So if you need help, please reach out to Malinda. That's why she is the 2024 Sterile Processing Packaging Expert for Beyond Clean. And if you're hooked already, we're season 6. We've already got a little flavor, a little teaser here for what's coming next episode. We're going to have a crown our princess next episode. I guess she's already been crowned here for a while, but the crown is going to be in studio with us next episode. So tune in next month when we bring Malinda back in, and we're going to be talking about Holy Moly, which is one of, if it's not double pill packing, this may be the number one complaint, frustration out there is holes in our packages, specifically in our wraps. So something tells me everyone's going to want to tune in for that Holy Moly episode, and we got the crown coming. So it's going to be a double whammy here. We're going to make you wait for that, and I'm going to encourage you like we do every time here at Beyond Clean. Thank you for tuning in, number 1. But number 2, keep fighting dirty.